Good day, good day, good day. I hope you all are doing well. This video is entitled The Selfish Generation. Millennials are often called selfish, um, self-serving, etc. But to a certain degree, I totally get it and I understand because they have seen how their parents' lives have gone, how their grandparents' lives have gone, and they want something different. So I get it, no longer are they staying at jobs for 30 years just to get a cake for retirement at the end. No longer do they want to stay at jobs and miss out on their kids and children growing up and enjoying life. Um, and they're just not doing it. No longer are they seeing the purpose of staying in marriages for 20 years, even if they saw their parents do it, because a lot of the times, even though their parents stayed together, and most of the time it was for the kids, they saw that the parents were not happy, they weren't functioning well, and their needs weren't being met. Kids are not crazy, kids are not stupid. So, you know, um, they just see what their parents went through, the gaslighting, and they're not up for the gaslighting, for the unappreciation, being unappreciated, having their dreams crushed, all while caring for someone else, or just for the sake of caring for somebody else. And that's where millennials get termed or deemed selfish, because they don't see the need or the purpose to always care for and go out of their way for someone else and not get the same in return. And that's the part I understand. um I see why these younger people are getting married older, waiting to have children older, and wanting to truly enjoy their lives. I'm not saying that life is over once you get married or have children, but it definitely changes a lot. It changes a whole lot. Um, and especially dealing with a certain type of person, if you have children with them, if you're sharing a life with them, it can make or break you. Again, the person you marry can make or break you. It is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. Even outside of marriage, the people you decide to make children with, if you decide not to marry that person, will make or break your life. I'm not saying it will cost you your life, but in a sense, yes, because it will cost you your sense of stability. It will affect your finances, your emotional state, all of that stuff. So, these younger people, they don't want that. They want to live happily. They want to live freely, and I think some of us older generations, we're catching up. I'm a Generation Xer, and I'm at that place now, where I'm thinking, what am I doing all of this for again? I'll be 50. I'll be 50 years old in a few years. And I'm thinking, what am I doing all of this for again? Why am I doing this for people not getting the same in return? Why am I doing these things that are not beneficial to my bottom line? Why am I still at a job that I truly love, don't get me wrong, but it's taking away from my family and being with my children, or my young child, at such a tender age? And I'm truly questioning that. And that's why, you know I am I'm making moves to change that. But still, younger people, they're not even thinking about it. If something's not suiting them, a job doesn't feel good to them anymore, a situation doesn't feel good, where they're living doesn't feel good, guess what? They just up and leave it just like that. So that part I admire, and I truly get it. Hi, Mining Dirt, how are you today? Santee 4D, Jack Christian, how are you? Yeah, no, I'm not single, honey. Hi VL, how are you? Said you, please forgive me. I know I am botching I am botching your name. Hey, how are you all today? Um, but yeah, these kids are changing jobs just like they change socks, and I get it. I get it because unfortunately sometimes when you stay in these jobs and you think you're being faithful and dependable, you wouldn't get the same in return if you decided to leave that job. If they wanted to get rid of you, especially in some of these right to work states and whatnot, for whatever reason, they can decide to get rid of you right now today, and they wouldn't give you any notice. But for older people, older generations, we have this sense of decorum where you have to give a 2 weeks notice so that you can get a good a good review if you ever need a reference or something like that. But these jobs would not do the same for you in return. And these younger kids, they just don't care. Like I said, if it's not working, it doesn't feel good, they are out of there. All right. Another thing is, I say this. Another thing is when it comes to relationships, these younger kids, they're just not going for the okie doke, and that's something to be thought about. I'm not saying that you should just up and leave a marriage like that, but I get it when they say they don't see the purpose in it because they have seen what their parents went through, and the divorce rates are much higher now, and all of that should be taken into account. People are actually looking at that. These younger kids are saying, okay, well, people that get married aren't even staying married, so why should I? What purpose does it serve? But yeah, with all that being said, it's truly something to think about, the mind frame of the younger kids and why they think the way that they think. It's not necessarily that they're just selfish and truly just thinking about them. We have to think about what it is that was projected to them. What did they see their parents go through, their grandparents, and before that? And they're looking at how their lives turned out and their level of satisfaction and happiness, and they just want to go the opposite way, to be honest. I'm not saying that you should just be whimsical in life, but however, there should be a certain component of that selfishness in there, because there should be a certain level of self-preservation that we should be exuding and putting into place over our lives, because the giving is just not beneficial, and you just end up stressed out and not fulfilled in the end. You know what I mean? So, hey, Frank Hawkins, how are you all doing today? American Redneck, hi, how are you? ASAP, Ace, good. Darius, hey, not much. I'm just talking about the fact that the younger generations, they just aren't sticking in situations that aren't serving them, like we used to do, like our parents and grandparents did. And I do see the benefit in that to a certain extent. But yeah, that's pretty much my spiel for today. I want to thank you all for watching, and you be blessed and take care of yourselves.